This is episode 10 of Gears League and Xbox podcast. I'm here as always, Tyler Bello. And yes, the episode is a day late. This was the plan. I was pretty sure I announced it last week, but I guess upon looking back, I don't think I actually did. My days off this week were a little different, so I had to kind of make do with what I could. Writing the show takes a little bit of time now that I'm actually, doing more preparation each week. So I apologize for that. I just simply couldn't get to it on the day that I worked. But I'm here now, and we definitely have a lot to talk about. Especially, of course, the big news: Xbox Series X. Of course, we'll get to that. But yeah, I am so glad I am finally here on episode 10. I just kind of a little bit of a milestone for me. I am very excited to keep this going. I really am very passionate about this project, my podcast, and I'm very excited that I've been able to keep it going, and I'm thinking that this is definitely something I want to keep going for years to come. So yeah, obviously lots of news, lots of Xbox Series X news, of course. We'll get to that. First, kind of just talk to you a little bit about what I'm playing. I'm actually playing Borderlands 2, funny enough. I was playing Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. I fell off that. I kind of was not having any fun with it. I'll probably give it another shot because I know it's getting so many glowing reviews, and normally I love games like that. And people keep comparing it to Uncharted, and I loved Uncharted, so I'm probably gonna dive back into it. But for now, I am taking a break. I'm gonna play through Borderlands 2 instead. Then I might swing back. But yeah, as far as Borderlands 2 goes, I know it's an old game. I know Borderlands 3 just came out, but I finally got to Borderlands 2. I know I'm very late to the party. I just want to say it's an excellent game. Obviously, everyone knows that already, but yeah, I owned the game legitimately like 5 times. And this is the first time I've actually really sat down and play it. Like I owned it on 360, I owned it on PS3, I owned it on Vita, I owned it on PC, and I own the remasters on PS4 as well. Finally sitting down and playing it, love it a lot. So I don't know if I'm going to do a Tyler soapbox on it because it's so old. If I do, it's probably going to be like 5 minutes of how I think it still holds up compared to today's games or something like that. Because obviously it's not shocking news that Borderlands 2 is good. It's also like a 8-year-old game at this point. So, but yeah, I figured I'd go and play while there's not a lot coming out in the moment though. But yeah, going backwards a little bit, my initial impression of Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, they weren't good. I kind of had fun, and then I kind of just didn't. Like, there's a lot of retreading that you end up having to do, and some of the enemies are just so janky. I don't know, I just got so pissed off actually at a certain point. But like I said, I'll probably make a stop back to it too. So, I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, first up, like I said, we've got a lot of Xbox Series X news to get to. I'm actually just going to go ahead and talk about all the news that's not Xbox related, not Xbox, console related, and then I'm going to eventually just go all into the Xbox talk as well as the topic of the week, which is obviously Xbox Series X. So, first article: Battle Royale comes to Forza Horizon 4 in the Eliminator. IGN article by Luke Riley. Playground Games has brought about the Battle Royale style game mode in the racing game Forza Horizon 4. It will be available for free December 12th. It will feature It will feature a mode where all players start with the same car, a 1965 Mini Cooper, with players gaining upgrades throughout the map. The way the game mode works is it will have players challenging one another via honking for races, and the loser drops out of the competition while the other continues on. They have the choice of taking their enemy's car or just getting a random upgrade. In the end of the map, racing duels are disabled, and there's one location for all the remaining players to head to. According to principal game designer Mike Brown, the Eliminator game mode has actually been gestating for some time. According to him, they have been playing with their imagination for a while and finally came up with the game mode they have today. So that sounds exciting. A battle royale for racing sounds very intriguing, especially the way it sounds like it's being done. That could be a lot of fun. Still have not played Forza Horizon 4. It is for free on Game Pass. Again, one of the mini games I plan to get to. Um, Especially now that I'm not stuck on any game right now as a service. Um, I should I should be able to finally get to a lot more games, but Horizon 4 is like one of those games where I've been very interested. I just haven't gotten around to it yet, but looks definitely exciting for sure. So yeah. Also, Control DLC is out, and the first expansion release date was announced. So this is an IGN article by Matthew Adler. The update that is currently out is a challenge mode, which will reward those who complete the challenges with unique mods of varying rarity, as well as completing all the challenges will unlock one final reward. Additionally, the game will receive paid DLC next year, with the first one being titled The Foundation, which will arrive on March 26th, 2020. Again, another game I haven't played yet that I've been meaning to, Control. It's kind of nice though that it's going to be receiving these updates. They're not just calling it DLC; they're calling it an expansion, which kind of leads me to believe they kind of want to keep this game's name around for a while, because I think it probably took them a ton of money to make, and it didn't chart on the NPDs at all. So I think this might be a good idea, especially if they're trying to get a return on their investment. I know DLC is definitely not as expensive for them to make, but at the same time, they can keep getting, media attention, games media attention, by releasing expansions for it and continuing to talk about it. So good strategy, and I'm looking forward to playing the game and the DLC. I don't know, at this point I might wait for like a collection or something like that. Like a Control with the season pass, something like that on there too. I don't know, something at this point. Since I've waited so long already, I don't know. Might just wait a little bit longer, but yeah, definitely up to you if you want to follow suit or not. So, yeah, Telltale Games confirmed that The Wolf Among Us 2 is confirmed. This is an IGN article by Jonathan Dornbush. The new Telltale Games, the now revived defunct developer, who has been revived by LCG Entertainment, has announced that The Wolf Among Us will continue on in The Wolf Among Us 2. This is super exciting news for me. I actually loved The Wolf Among Us 1. I was also very sad to hear that Telltale Games when they got shut down. I am cautiously optimistic. I'm going to just say that about The Wolf Among Us 2, because The Wolf Among Us, it was excellent, but Telltale Games, when they went debunked, it really just sounded like they didn't know how to do business at all. In fact, it almost led to the final season of The Walking Dead not being finished. So I'm imagining that LCG Entertainment has a new strategy for them, and I'm hoping part of the strategy I'm hoping is that there's no more episodic stuff, but yeah, I'm excited for the second part of Wolf Among Us 2. One of the things though about Telltale Games I want to talk about is like, it was kind of sad because if you look at a lot of their the way they fell down, it seemed like they just I don't know, their strategy just seemed to be piling dominoes on top of dominoes. To me it looked like because obviously the first episode of all their games sold the best, and then it with the drop off later on. But it just seemed like such a losing battle for them, because obviously they'd make a little bit of money in episode 1. Then they have to spend all this time making the rest of the episodes, which aren't going to make as much money. And there's so many people who are just waiting for all the episodes to be out so they could just play the whole game in one experience. And that's definitely the way I play the games. And I just keep thinking like how it doesn't make any sense that they were doing like that. I think they'd have much better luck if they just released the games all at once. Just like this is Wolf Among Us 2, not episode 1, 2, 3, or 4, or 5. Just this is the Wolf Among Us 2. Out 12-hour, whatever, 6-hour experience, whatever, and then you can just play it, because then I would just buy it day one. Instead, I was waiting for all the versions of the game, like all the episodes of the games to come out, and I would just forget about the game entirely and just never buy it. So I'm thinking I'm hoping the revival does something like that. I'm not gonna get my hopes up. I'm just excited for Telltale Games to be back in general, I suppose, but yeah, I definitely hope they have better luck this time. Respawn job listings point to a possible Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order sequel. This is an IGN article by Logan Plant. As reported by PC Games End, there's a new job listing at Respawn for a senior software engineer position. It says they're looking for someone passionate about the Star Wars universe who is invigorated by the idea of coding third-person action-adventure games. So I've heard that yeah, the Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order is getting glowing reviews, and I'm glad that people are playing it. It seems to be selling very well. Thing that I'm just like I said, I'm kind of down in the game. I don't know. I will give it another shot for sure. It just seemed like it was such a blah. I hated retreading the same planets over and over again. It's very possible it was my mistake. Maybe I was doing something weird. I have no idea, but was not having fun. Like literally got to the point where like I was questioning if I even liked playing video games at all while I was playing that game. Like I don't know. Like so I don't know. I'll give it a shot. People say it picks up later on and it gets better. So I don't know. Maybe I just had some maybe I just wasn't in the right mindset for it. I'm not sure, but I'll definitely go back. This is awesome that it's getting a sequel because I was under the impression, I know a lot of other people were under the impression that they were never going to get a sequel since it's a single player game, and EA seems to be so greedy. They canceled, they closed Visceral, the ones that made Dead Space, because because it didn't make Battlefield money, and it's so sad, but like at the same time, it looks like they understand that there's at least some interest in these single player games, and I'm hoping they're going to keep it going because I'm not the only one who feels it. I know a lot of people feel like it. It's just so sad and sickening that they're holding the Star Wars license captive, because I know a lot of people are really excited that Star Wars games are out there. Star Wars Battlefront 2 is excellent. I love that game. But it's just, it's so obvious to tell that literally any other developer, any other publisher we'd have 3 single player games cycling out, like each year, if this was owned by anyone else. But EA being EA is just, I don't think you need my help bashing EA. They just seem so money focused, and it seems like they just lose more and more goodwill to the point now where like they used to have like a stranglehold on like the entire industry. EA. Now if you think about it, they've got their FIFA, their Madden, all that, but like as far as hardcore gamers go, the only thing they do of relevance now is really Battlefield, and then Battlefront if you count that as well too for them. But at the same time, it's like I don't know. I feel like they're choking themselves out of relevance with any hardcore gamers very quickly. So, but yeah, it's good. I guess a step in the right direction is making a sequel to a very beloved single player Star Wars game for sure. So. Next article I've got is Gears Tactics release date revealed. This is an IGN article by Miranda Sanchez and Jordan Serrani. The Gears of War strategy spinoff will be released for PC on April 28th, 2020. The game will also reportedly feature a 40-hour campaign. The game is set 12 years before the events of the first Gears of War, which puts it 2 years after E-Day. It is also announced that it will have an Xbox release date sometime after the PC one. Very, very, very excited for this. I loved the bit I played of Halo Wars. I never actually got to finish Halo Wars. Another thing I plan to go back to. It is available on Game Pass, Halo Wars 1 and 2, just so you know. But yeah, I'm very excited about this. Gears of War is obviously my favorite series of all time. Obviously, it's part of the reason why it's called Gears League, my podcast. I am very happy to hear about this. This seems excellent. Halo Wars is excellent, so I can only imagine Gears is going to be excellent. I feel like the Gears of War universe is so perfect for this. It's not even funny. So I seriously cannot wait for this to come out for sure. So finally, let's go to some Xbox Series X news. I know that's what everyone's probably waiting for, and they've been thinking about this whole time. But yeah, obviously big news dropped. Xbox Series X, Project Scarlet's next gen game, and look was next gen name, and look officially revealed. This is an IGN article by Tom Marks. The next gen Xbox, formerly known as Xbox Scarlet, will be called Xbox Series X. The console itself was shown as it showed off a trailer of Senua's Saga Hellblade 2, the game that was designed to take full advantage of the new console's power. Alongside the console, the new controller was shown as well. Spencer told GameSpot, "We do have a share button. We've heard the feedback. We're not the first ones to do a share button, so we're not going to say that we invented that. But we've heard the feedbacks that sharing is such a part of the game experience now for many of our players that I wanted a dedicated hardware button, so you'll see that." We'll still have the rumble triggers and haptic feedback that you've had in the console before. Yeah, and so it sounds like definitely making the steps in the right direction. Um, yeah, that's kind of the first piece. I'm kind of probably just gonna read. I'm not gonna probably talk too much individually about these articles. I'm just because the topic of the week anyway is the Xbox Series X. I'm probably just gonna read these articles back to back to back, and then we'll talk about them all later. Um, Also, just so you know, Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice is also available right now in Game Pass on Xbox and PC. So if you were excited and you got really excited about the announcement of the second one, you can play right now the first one for free right now in Game Pass. But yeah, the Xbox Series X specs, design, release date, games, and more. This is an IGN article by Colin Stevens and Felicia Miranda. The idea behind the design of the new console is for it to push out high volumes of air from the top to keep the console cool, as also be quiet as possible. Those who are involved in the creation of Project Scarlet said it will be 4 times more powerful than Xbox One X and is capable of 8K output with 120 frames per second, variable refresh rates, and real-time next-gen ray tracing. Along with that, a new generation of SSD is being used as virtual RAM, allegedly offering over 40 times performance increases from the current generation. Project Scarlet will leverage high band. Can't even read my own typing. I can't read my own handwriting, but I definitely can't read my own typing either. High bandwidth GDDR6 SD RAM. The same team that worked on Xbox One X is working on the Xbox. They are prioritizing load times and claim that Project Scarlet will usher in resolutions and frame rates that we've never seen before. The console is set to be released in holiday 2020, and there are, again, as last reported on our previous episode, that reports that it won't only be the one Xbox launching this year. That cheaper model rumored will also launch at the same time. Finally, the Xbox Series X name has been explained by Microsoft. Microsoft has revealed that the next Xbox is actually just titled Xbox, and that Series X also is their particular line of console, much like how Xbox One is separated into the original S and the X versions. And of course, finally, let's talk about all the news. So, this is obviously very, very exciting. Xbox Series X. I'm pretty pumped about this new console. It looks like, because I've heard some people try like kind of making fun of the new design, but it kind of makes sense though if you think about it, because I don't know if a lot of people are aware of this, but some of the limitations of a console is making sure that because cooling has to all happen inside the console, and a PC, you'll see these big towers where it's got this whole like, air filter and everything like that, and that lets you overclock your processor and all that, etc., etc. Some of the limitations of a console are cooling, so it's got this design to push out tons of air, which kind of should get you excited that there's going to be a lot more power probably behind this thing, because the way it's designed, I mean, theoretically, the custom processor that AMD is going to design is essentially going to probably come. It's a custom one anyway, but essentially come pre-overclocked. If you can push out large amounts of air, that's one of the things. If you're playing on PC, if you're a PC gamer who likes to overclock your PC, that's part of what getting a nice cooling system for it is being able to overclock the processor and things like that, so getting more power for your money. So that's incredibly exciting, the form of it. It also just looks like a PC tower. Yeah, I'm incredibly excited for this. This looks awesome. And as far as power goes, I'm getting some conflicting info, because it looks like, according to Eurogamer, they're saying it's twice as powerful as the Xbox One X, but according to Microsoft themselves, they say it's up to 4 times as powerful. So hard to tell. I think they're not going to probably release the official specs until later on. I think they're also going to try to give Sony a chance to release their specs, because I have a feeling they already know they're going to be more powerful than the PlayStation 5. A couple theories, though, and ideas about the Xbox One X is that considering the whole series part, it's obviously not going to be modular, but it kind of gives me some ideas. So, as you know, right now, I consider myself an Xbox gamer primarily, even though I do play on PC. I use the Xbox launcher a lot. I play all games with an Xbox controller. I've spent almost all my gaming life on Xbox itself. But with this, the way this looks, especially since they explain the name, it almost seems like it would not be a bad investment to just be an Xbox gamer at this point. Because if you think about it, well, first off, I'll kind of I'll come back to the whole modular thing later if it is modular or not. But first off, though, let's say you are a high-end PC gamer, and I've got one that I think I've got I've basically got the biggest swinging dick PC there is. I mean, mine, it's a pretty powerful. I'm running a Titan XP video card. Not the best video card there is out right now, but it's pretty close. It's a $1,200 video card. And I'm just thinking, if you think about it, though, if you have an Xbox, so let's say you have a PC, right? And you upgrade the PC every 2 or 3 years. For a new video, because they say that if you want to keep running maxed out graphics, if you want to run an ultra presets, you're going to upgrade your video card every 2 years and your processor every 4 years. Right? That's kind of like the thing. But an Xbox Series X, if it's gonna just be Xbox, and this is Series X, right? And let's say later on we get Series S or Series A or Series B, et cetera, et cetera. And imagine that. Because, you don't even have to imagine, because they've already confirmed that the console is entirely backwards compatible, right? So, it's going to have all of the Xbox games coming forward. So you've got the Xbox, you've got the Series X. Well, it can't be probably any more than 2 or 3 years, and the next series is probably going to be out, right? And I'll kind of come back to later on what this would mean for the console generations. I mean, I don't want to forget about that, because that's also, I think that it's very important in this conversation. But if you're going to upgrade this Xbox every 3 years, and if you think about it, because I've also made this argument too, where with a console, the developers cater to you, right? PC gaming it's gotten better. Some people who aren't familiar as much with PC gaming might be like, Tyler, what the hell are you talking about? Well, there is a lot of bad PC ports, and some people always ignorantly make the argument, well, the games are made on PC. What are you talking about? A PC port? It's not quite how it works. You make them on a PC, sure, but you make them for a dev kit. You make them for the specs of the console, and they're going to run best on the console. Also, developers want to make the games look as good as possible on the console, because that's the version that's going to be selling the most copies of the game is on console. PC, a lot of times people used to just shit out their PC ports. Ubisoft was, in my opinion, notorious for doing that, because they would literally shit those things out. They were awful. They barely ran. Also, even before Gears 5, Gears 4, it was developed not by the Coalition for PC, but by a different team. The thing was unplayable. If you had a decent end card, I heard that on lower end cards it wasn't a problem, but I had the 1080 when that thing came out, and it just didn't run on it, and it ran like trash, and it crashed all the time. So, but it's getting a lot better. But nothing is going to have more time spent on it than obviously the console versions of games. So, if you are investing in a console, and it is the cream of the crop, and the developer is going to cater to you, and all your games are going to carry forward, and you're going to be able to upgrade every 3 years, then doesn't this effectively bridge the gap to PC from PC gaming? And doesn't this effectively make it maybe it's obviously a cheaper option, but doesn't it kind of almost make it a very competitive option to PC gaming in general? I kind of think so. Let's say, it's not going to be anywhere near this price, but let's even say, for argument's sake, that Xbox Series X is $800. It's probably going to be half that, but let's just say it's $800, okay? Well, my gaming PC cost me $3,000. And I'm going to probably guess, with this custom processor and everything like that, Microsoft buying them in bulk and then making the console, losing money on the console, selling it to me, and versus my PC, who every part of that PC made someone a profit. $800 versus $3,000. Do you think my PC runs 3.5 times as well as the Xbox Series X? Probably not. Probably not, because I can already. If my PC can obviously run games on max settings and everything, this console runs games that are optimized for itself, and I'm already going to get an upgrade in 3 years on this console, right? So, am I getting ahead at all anywhere by having the PC I have? Right. I don't think so. And so that's kind of what I'm getting at in a roundabout sort of way, is that I think with this next gen Xbox, if you invest in this Xbox and you upgrade every 3 years, well, you're basically getting games at max settings all the time, right? It's not much different than you upgrading every 2 and 4 years on your PC, except for you're saving a lot of money, and obviously you're getting, you're getting all the you're essentially getting all the same games. Because also, something else I want to talk about, people always were worried about consoles ever existing for a while, but if you look at it, more and more PC games are coming to Xbox. And Xbox games are obviously coming to PC as well too. But if you look on the PlayStation side of things, where they're completely separate communities, PC games are coming to PlayStation. PlayStation games aren't going to PC. It all seems like it tends towards one way. And I think PC gaming is a great idea for a lot of the games you can't play on, Xbox. I'd say mainly like, World of Warcraft, things like that. But at the same time, if that's the only difference, and if you put that on the Xbox, then what do you have? What's the benefit of having the PC? So, I don't know. It just seems like if it is everything it's designed to do, it seems like it's really going to push the limits. Now, I kind of want to talk about two more things too. If it's going to be modular, and as well as if it's going to, if there's going to be any more console generations. Because effectively, with full backwards compatibility, it really doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter if there's generations or not. But let's just talk about it for a bit. So, modular in it. If it's modular, I pick this thing up day one. like if they say this is a video card equivalent to like the Titan RTX, on Xbox, I say I pick that one day up and I never look back. I play everything on my Xbox. I get all my Xbox achievements all in one spot. I'm happy. I don't have to deal with multiple launchers like I do have to on my PC. I'm just happy going forward. So I severely doubt it's going to be modular. I think the series part of it kind of just confirms they're going to release a new version every couple of years. I think that's what it is, more so than any hope of us being able to pull the top off this Xbox and put another video card in there, which would be amazing. But anyway, but now let's also talk about if there's going to be any more generations, because with full backwards compatibility, and what does it really matter if there's generations anymore? That's kind of one thing I'm thinking about. And I know that Phil Spencer has actually said this in the past, that he was talking about how he doesn't want there to be any more console generations. And I think a lot of people, including me, took it as he meant that this generation. I think he means that this next generation. Why does if you can make it so there's different series of the same Xbox, so this console is literally just called Xbox. If you can make it so there's just one, and there's different versions of that one, and you can buy it in all these different levels, why have a generation? Why have a generational reset? Because seriously, think about on PC. I'll make another PC comparison. You could have a potato of a PC, and you might have to turn the graphics down quite a bit, or a lot, but it'll still play all the games you want it to play. They won't look as good as if you had a higher end PC, but it'll still play those games. Why not do the same thing with Xbox? Why not when you buy Xbox Series X, and let's say you don't want to ever upgrade again, why doesn't that mean to you and to everyone else? Why doesn't that mean that, you Yeah. Why doesn't that mean that that's just you've now invested in 15 years of Xbox? You've now got the next 10 or 15 years on Xbox. The game now, obviously, in 9 or 10 years, the games might not look as good. They might not run as good as your friends might. But you know what? If you're busy and you don't have a lot of time for games, and you really don't care so much, why doesn't that mean that you're set? Because I talk about this all the time, and everyone knows Microsoft doesn't make money on the the console itself. They lose money on the console. They make their money with the Microsoft store, with the Xbox store. That's how they make their money. When you buy a game, that's how they make their money back, because they get 30% of every game you buy. And obviously, when they make a first party game, they get 100% of that profit. So, yeah, I think that that's a one of the reasons why I think that generational resets, they were just they were necessary before. If this is the model going forward, I don't think it's necessary now. So I think what this means going forward is this could be, if you're trying to like cut costs, this could be the way to go, rather than having a full NPC. You know, and that's kind of something I'm looking for, because I'm a big achievement snob. I like to have all my stuff in one place. I would like to just have a launcher with everything. I hate EA Origins for what they did. Where you have to open up their game for like some of the games you want to play. That's another reason why I hate EA. I hate freaking the Epic Game Store being punks, making having exclusives there. I like all my stuff in one spot. And if Xbox can be that place for me, if I can just basically have an Xbox branded PC where everything runs through Xbox, I would definitely do that. That's 100% the way I'd go. So but that's it. That's all I really have for Gears League episode 10. Definitely write in. Let me know what you thought. Any thoughts you've got, I'll definitely be happy to read them in. Remember, that's Gears League Podcast at gmail.com. Gears League Podcast at gmail.com. You can also watch me stream. I'm back on to streaming again. I got my streaming PC fixed and repaired, and it's beautiful. So it's twitch.tv/TOPOLEADK. It's twitch.tv/TOPOLEADK. That's TupoliaDK. My gamer tag on Xbox and Steam is the same. So, yeah, definitely look for me there. I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. Otherwise, yeah, again, it's obviously this. I mean, if you're listening to this, you probably listen to it one way, but this podcast is available on pretty much all podcast services. It's also available on YouTube. So just listen wherever you'd like. If you want me to add it other places, write in and let me know. I'd love to add it. So until then, take care, guys.